In recent years, contemporary arts in Vietnam has made outstanding developments with the participation of many generations of young artists. They always try to use arts to balance the cultures and social issues with the contemporary perspective. Many Vietnamese artists brought their works to international exhibitions and left many beautiful imprints to the worldwide friends. Curator is considered to be the friend of the artist who plays a role in connecting and bringing artworks to the public. Nguyễn Như Huy co-founders and art director at Zero Station. He was a co-curator for Singapore Biennale 2013. He has been included in the advisory department of curators for a long-term project, Curator Bazars, Yokohama in Japan. In 2015, Như Huy had the opportunity to be the guest curator for a brand new project, an annual project initiated by Bangkok Creative University to introduce potential young Thai artists to Thai contemporary arts. Having the opportunity to interact with the arts from many countries, Như Huy always tried to contribute to integrate Vietnamese contemporary arts into the world. Welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 NETVIET channel. Today we will have a conversation with Mr. Nguyễn Như Huy about bringing Vietnamese contemporary art to global interest. Thank you for joining the show and welcome to Sharing Vietnam.
Thank you for inviting me to the show.
So my first question is, what is the definition and role in the arts of the curators? And how can curators bring Vietnamese contemporary art to global interest?
I think this question is very interesting and complicated too. We know that up to now nobody can have the stable and single definition about the curating and curator. And I think that every different curator will have every single definition. To me, myself, I think for me, the curator is kind of the practice of making dialogue. So the curator, we can imagine as someone who is host of the television show, who listen and who try to open space for dialogue and who try to interpret, who try to translate, and who amidst the dialogues between curator and artist, the exhibition and audience, the politics and culture and art. So I think the curator here is someone who endlessly move in many sections of the dialogue. So for me, that is the definition for curating and the curator role. When we think about bringing the Vietnamese contemporary art to the world, unconsciously we think that Vietnam contemporary art or artists and the world are two different parts. And Vietnamese artists and Vietnamese art need to integrate into the world. But for me, myself, I have the point that I think Vietnamese artists and Vietnamese contemporary art naturally is a part of the world. So we don't need to go to the world. We are the part of the world, naturally. And how we can be integrated to the world, I think it's easy. We just try to be ourselves. We try to think as we are thinking. We try to work as we are working. And we try to see everything around us. And we try to make the artwork that can tell our story. And our story, at the same time, is the world global story.
In your opinions, what do you think about the development of Vietnamese contemporary arts in the past 10 years and what has been changed?
For me, in the past 10 years and also maybe in the future, near future, Vietnamese contemporary art and Vietnamese artists had to face with the two challenging. The first, the challenging that they face is that when the Vietnamese art and Vietnamese culture be more institutionalized. So we know that now in Vietnam we have the many space for exhibition to compare with the 10 years ago. We have the factory, we have VCCA, we have the many gallery, new gallery, we have the many program for artists. It is good, but at the same time, it could be bad. Why it could be bad? Because, art should always be considered as something that more dreamic, more illusive. So artists who make artwork not because they want to have a job, but because they want to change something. It could be utopian idea about artists, but I think for me myself, art exists in the work, in the life of the people, because it shows for the people the way to escape from everyday life. Think about when artists just think about doing artwork as a job. Think about the exhibition space. Don't think about having exhibition as the big event of changing people, but just think about, thinking about having exhibition as the program. So every week, every month, you need to have the exhibition, because you run the space. You need to have the everything in program, and I think that is the most challenge for the artists, because in that point, they don't have enough time to think. They don't have enough time to be crazy, and art practice going down to the level of being just a normal job. Artists need the job to survive. So I think that's a challenging. But don't worry, because all artists from around the world have to face with the same challenging. And some artists can pass this exam, but some other cannot. And that's a normal.
Through his relationship with Singapore Biennale, Như Huy has created a new forum for Vietnamese contemporary art with many international works. Besides that, at Zero Station, a complex including studio, exhibition space, and residency program based in Ho Chi Minh City, established in 2011. Như Huy has organized a lot of outstanding art projects and activity. It attracted a lot of curators, Vietnamese and international artists to participate and join the discussion.
Chỉ cách đây khoảng chừng 1 năm thôi, thì Việt Nam số lượng curator có thể đếm trên một bàn tay. Curator Việt Nam là một cái nghề rất là mới và rất nhiều bạn trẻ đang tiếp tục cái con đường đó, và anh Huy là một trong những người đi đầu. Anh là cái người tranh cãi về cái việc cái chữ Curator phải dịch ra như thế nào, và chữ giám tuyển là cái chữ Quảng, chứng tỏ là cái trình độ với lại cái suy nghĩ của anh Huy rất là xuyên suốt.
Trau dồi kiến thức và trí thức ở trong khi mà mình thực hành bất cứ một cái ngành nghề nào trong cái công việc văn hóa nghệ thuật á, cũng là một cái việc mà gọi là tối cần thiết, chứ không phải là mình cứ tạo ra những cái nghệ phẩm liên tục, mà mình cần phải có một cái thời gian để mình chững lại và mình giống như phạt tư lại xem là mình đã làm cái gì, và những cái này nó tương ứng với cả cái lịch sử nghệ thuật và tương ứng với cả cái lý thuyết nghệ thuật như thế nào. Thì anh Như Huy đã tạo ra những cái gọi là những cái hoạt động để đáp ứng cho cái nhu cầu đó của nền nghệ thuật Việt Nam.
Cái sự phản biện của Như Huy rất là bao quát và nó làm cho mình mở ra nhiều cái hướng, nó không hẳn là tác phẩm của mình nó nằm ở trong cái địa phương nữa. Những cái gợi ý hoặc là những cái phản biện của Như Huy nó làm cái tác phẩm của mình có thể đi xa hơn rất là nhiều.
After participating in many international exhibitions and conferences, so what have you learned applied to the art an exhibition in Vietnam?
I always make a joke for my friends in abroad that we don't need to learn from you. You need to learn from us. Why? Because of course we understand this is the joke, but many joke had the facts. If you think about the curator in the setting of international level, you will know that they are very, very happy. They have enough the money. They have very good help from the institution, and they have the good audience. They have the good artist to work with, and they become the king. For me, honestly speaking, I think to be curator in Vietnam, you have to be two curator in international level. So that's what I say that the curator in Vietnam can teach some other curator in international level. Of course, it's the job. We need to learn a lot from them. We need to learn from them the technique. I think the technique is very important for the artist and curator. The technique of making exhibition, the technique of negotiating, the technique of networking. At the same time, we also learn from them, but we also contribute to the discourse of the curating and curator in the international level.
How can you connect foreign curators and foreign artists come to Vietnam to do the projects together here?
You know that the world now is smaller than before due to the internet, the easy in the transportation, and you know that at least in the region we don't need to visa to travel. That's why we know each other. I mean the curator and the artist at least in region to know each other, and even the region to the west. I mean to the wider setting of the international artwork is now smaller. The challenging is not to bring them to Vietnam, but the challenging is how we can know each other, how we can share the same concern. We have to organize and we have to make some platform to share the idea, and it takes time. It's not just to meet in like a diplomat setting and shake hands, but we need to create kind of a long-term platform for discussion. For example, in the 2017, Zero Station organized kind of the symposium in 10 days. So we invite a group of curator and intellectual from abroad and from region, from Asia, to come and to stay in Zero Station in the 10 days. Every day we organize the talk in the 1 or 2 house, and we invite the public to come and to listen and to discuss with the region curator and intellectual. And all of the talk and the discussion we record and we post on our website. So I think this is maybe the way.
What will Vietnamese contemporary art look like in the next 5 years?
In my hope, I will hope it will have some new name, which can be appear in the global setting. But at the same time, I really hope in Vietnam, I mean in a local setting, we still have some interesting event and some the new name that can introduce the new discourse to Vietnamese local people. So for me, at the same time, the development of the Vietnamese contemporary art should be the development inside and outside. So if you just have the development in the outside Vietnam, I don't count it is the good thing.
Thank you for your sharing. I wish you will gain more success in the future. And thank you for your watching. See you next time.